guess Christmas is hitting everybody early. That's tend to happen. Nothing really gets done. Did I retweet? No, I didn't retweet. Let me go to the Twitter. I got a notification. Oh, you do play Splinterlands. I did not know that. Well, let's look you up. I am GLFing my staples. Peak Monsters. Is it under the same name, AA Gabriel? Nothing under that name. Then wanting to buy some bots to either play ranked for me or rent out all my good cards. Yeah, that is doable. Gold foiling, yeah. No Y's, yeah. All right. Yeah, it looks like you have a couple max level betas, a little bit of Untamed. There's some gold foils. Level 8s. So nice gold level deck. Yeah. Totally rentable if you want to. So if you put this on deck 404, you'd probably make something like, I don't know, let's see, we got 863,000 Dark Energy Crystals divided by 24 seasons. No, that's not what times 24 times 0.3 divided by 24. Yeah. 10,000 deck a season, something like that. That's just a ballpark estimate. Let's see what you've been doing with it, though. Monster, market, analyze rewards. Yes, deck 404. That's one of the services that Gerber and I run. What that does is it shares you. It's an account. You delegate your cards to the account. Somebody else comes in and plays it, and then you split the rewards. It's 100% hands-off, automated. Why do I keep changing? The name has not been changed. Deck 101 is the name of if you want to liquidate your rewards. Where you send cards, you get Dark Energy Crystals back. Deck 404 is the name of the system for the account splitting. So that is not different. Let's do quests. Let's see, tournaments, battles. All right, so on AA Gabriel, since the 15th, which was the the new season, you won 400 deck in a tournament, which is nice. Mic is a little low. Interesting. I haven't changed anything. Let's boost the gain. Lock volume. Properties? No. Let's try advanced audio properties. Mic auxiliary. Let's do that. Does that sound any better? Should be pretty much the same. All right, so battles. Oh, it doesn't sum them? That's kind of annoying. Oh, here we go. Battles, you made 4,000 Dark Energy Crystals. Oh, maybe because Jukebox is still online. And for cards, you made 3,000. Okay. Quests, 832. Not too shabby. So, since then, you've made 40, 57, 32, 35, 832. So, yeah, it'd be comparable, basically, to playing on your own. Maybe, depending on your luck, So that's always the thing, is with the rewards cards, especially on the silver and gold decks, the rewards chests are relatively low in number. So if you just happen to get lucky and you get a gold foil, it just blows everything out. But if you don't, then it can be lower. So luck works both ways. And Inertia wants me to pump it again. Let's pump it. Pop it. Let's do 4 decibels. Yasik's in the house. Paco's in the house. All right, I guess people just taking Christmas off, and that's cool. I I understand, But since we did get a few people, I was about to call it quits earlier, but we'll go ahead and do it. Do it. It's one of my favorite memes. Do it. Right there. So yeah, let's check out stuff that's going on. So I actually made a list this week, but yeah, so the show starts at 4 Eastern. I get an alert on my phone at 3:45 saying you have a calendar event coming up. I was like, oh crap, I have a show today. So this was a little bit last minute, but I did prep earlier in the week, which is kind of amazing for me. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I started in my tax business. I started using Monday.com, which is a project management system, and actually created a board for Monster Maverick show here, and has like all the topics and everything and notes on things. A. Gabriel is saying XRP is foreseeing a lawsuit from the SEC. Yes, that is the news that the SEC is going after Ripple for selling an unregistered security in the form of XRP tokens. It's a hard argument to make because there's in the U.S. Securities law there's what's called the Howey test, and this is getting really far afield of Splinterlands, but basically you have to like as an investor, in order for it to be a security, you have to be giving somebody money, a third party. You have to have an expectation of gain or value. The efforts of that gain have to be based on the third party's efforts rather than your own efforts. And what's the fourth part of the Howey test? I'm drawing a blank. Hey, Yeb is in the house. He's got the show in his calendar now. Yeah, the Scarred Llama with on low mana matches can be devastating. Anyway, so let's go. Oh, they actually have a section on the crypto market. That's interesting. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, specifically the Howey test determines that a transaction represents an investment contract if a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profits solely from the efforts of the promoter or a third party. And let's see, the Howey test being applied to crypto markets the Howey test has remained a notable determiner of regulatory oversight for many decades. In the past few years, it has been called into question, most frequently in conjunction with discussions about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. SEC is becoming increasingly interested, sure, because they're not very good at fighting back. Digital currencies like Bitcoin are notoriously difficult to categorize in this way because they're not securities. They are decentralized and designed to evade regulations in many ways. Nonetheless, investors who have moved quickly to buy up the latest digital currency in the hopes of turning profit are undoubtedly engaging in behavior that could be characterized as speculation. Yes, you can speculate on anything. From the perspective of the Howey test, the operative question in this case is whether or not cryptocurrency investors are participating in a speculative enterprise, and if so, if the profits those investors are hoping for are entirely dependent upon the work of a third party. Yeah, so I'm not in Ripple anymore. I bought some way back in the go-go days, but I sold it all and took a loss. But from what I recall, the Ripple organization wasn't promising anything. They were just saying it's going to be a transactional currency amongst banks. So I don't know how they're going to make that. How the SEC is going to win that one, but possible. Ripple just rolls over because the SEC likes to make examples of people, and if you put up too much of a fight and you're too well defended, like Elon Musk has done, they don't do anything. But if you're like a small fry and they know they can bulldoze you, then they'll come after you. So. Yeah. Oh, fun. Bron's coaching some users on how to join the voice channel. So yeah, I personally don't see the SEC winning that case against Ripple. Anything can happen, but it's whatever it is. What does that mean for crypto in general? Not much. Some cryptos are definitely securities. So like Proof of Home, which is the company that Aggroed Me and Scaredy Cat Guide are all are putting together. That's definitely security. and we registered it as a security. We paid the legal fees, and the lawyers to draw up the language and everything, and we're under specific regulatory exemptions as far as the who we can bring in as members of that company, and who we can sell shares to, and all that kind of stuff. So, 100%, it's a security. People are putting money in. We, the managers of the company, are deploying that capital to buy real estate, and then the real estate generates a yield. That yield gets translated back into, net asset value, and the price of the token, should go up over time. He said it's Ripple wins. That's a huge shield granted for the entire crypto sphere. If you can't even get Ripple in trouble, you can't get anyone in trouble. Yeah, because Ripple is like the least crypto of all cryptos. So yeah, there's something to that. But so point is, there are crypto securities out there. So proof of home is a security, and we have done the work to justify that and make that okay. Ripple, I don't think it is. Yield Bond A, the crypto loan I was floating, or have been floating, is not a security. It's a loan, and the language specifically specifies, schedule of repayments and interest rates and all that kind of stuff. So the details matter. You can't just say, oh, it's a cryptocurrency, therefore it's a security. That's not true. A. Gabriel says, I'm surprised USDT is still going. I've really come around on USDT. So for those who are not up on the intricacies of I guess DeFi gossip, so USDT is Tether, which is created. It's a stable coin representing $1, and since its beginnings, the Bitfinex, the people who operate USDT, have said that there is $1 in a bank account for every one USDT on crypto market, and people have been saying that's nonsense. Show us the proof. Be audited and all this kind of stuff. And Bitfinex has said over and over again that we would publish an audit, but nobody amongst the big four accounting firms will do an audit on a crypto project like this. So they like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that, they had a law firm come in and publish a report, and the law firm said that yes, there on this date that we examined things, there was $1. There was a matching balance in bank accounts between the balance of the Tether coins. So. I and many others said, well, that's not really saying anything, because just because there's a bank balance, assuming that's true, let's, for the sake of argument, let's say that's all true. Just because there's a bank balance there doesn't mean that capital is freely available. It could be encumbered any number of ways. Maybe it was put there the day before and then it was taken out the day after. We don't know. But over the last year or so, I've come around, and I've thought, Dick did saying that Bitfinex had to switch banks. Or no, that's not the comment. He was saying that USDT is more backed by USD than USD is, and that is true, because there is no backing for USD. Even reserve requirements at banks have been totally eliminated over the past couple of years. So. Yeah, there's always the disclaimer. This is not financial advice or to be used in place of an audited financial record certified by an accountant. Yeah, and that's like in financial statements when accountants like me, draw P&Ls and things for people trying to get mortgages and things. There's always a disclaimer at the bottom that says, yes, these records were provided to us by this individual or this company, and basically, it is what it is. This is what this person is saying, and based on the records that have been provided to me, this is what it is. So, yeah. So, but the problem with USDT that people have is that we have these big printings. One day will come by and they print 3 billion USDT, or 57 million, or whatever the number is, some big number, and people find that incredulous. But when we're talking about the crypto world, it's very, very small. It's very small in terms of the financial markets of the world. So it's easily possible that Bitfinex has some backing from various lending facilities, and they just tap a credit line and they bring in, you know, 100 million US dollars, and then they issue 100 million USDT, and there it is. And that's it's not unencumbered that way, but it's there. So I tend to I've kind of softly reversed my opinion on them. I think they are doing what they say they're going to do. How much that's worth, I don't know. So basically, under that scenario, they are tokenizing loan balances, and there may be some unencumbered capital there. Who knows? Yeah, it says if USDT is backed by something that isn't backed by anything, then USDT isn't backed by anything. And that's true. It's turtles all the way down. uh, so yeah, have opinions on USDT, but as long as the market keeps valuing it at a dollar, then it'll stay at a dollar. I have one thing I've not heard is anybody having problems redeeming any kind of USDT. I don't know if anybody has, but it doesn't even matter if USDT is backed by anything. All that matters is if we can trust Bitfinex to maintain the peg. Can we? That is the question. And yeah, so far, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, they are smart enough to not overextend themselves and blow up the whole market, because so much of stablecoin pricing is in USDT. Although there are more and more competitors now. There's DAI, there's USDC from Coinbase and Circle. There's now USDN, which is on Waves, their blockchain. So lots of competitors, but USDT is still the market leader. But that is I think eroding. Is it possible to redeem USDT? I'm not 100% sure. I've never tried. Certainly, I don't actually use USDT very much. The only USDT I have is inside of a Curve pool because I just have to have it as part of the pool. But we are getting pretty far afield, I think. But all this matters for we have HBD. HBD is the worst stablecoin ever invented, or like Addicted has published many articles on how it's a great trading vehicle just because it bounces around so much. So from that perspective, it might be the best stablecoin. And Inertia saying you can redeem USDT ERC20 for whatever it is that Tron calls its contract. Yeah, I mean there are multiple versions, so that's certainly true. But this is actually jumping ahead of of my schedule here. But during the AMA last week, with Yaba and Agrod, they were talking about dark energy crystals, inflation, and some of the market dynamics there. So, the with a lot of the new features that are launching, with lands and with the guild brawls and all these kind of things, there's going to be a lot more sinks for dark energy crystals. And in crypto terms, normally that's like, oh, we're burning tokens or reducing supply or adding sinks, whatever terminology you want to use. It means, yay, price is going up, right? Because all things being equal, the same market value or same market capitalization, the lower the supply, the higher the token price in order to balance that out. So, so one of the things Yabba said was that they plan to launch a second reward pool, which is increasing the dark energy crystal inflation, and so that more inflation will be needed to accommodate the sinks in lands and guild brawls. So that's counteracting that, and they went on to say that the way to kind of think about it is that cards and in the future lands will probably be the appreciating assets that people hold, and dark energy crystals will be more akin to a stable coin. And I think that is true. So the dark energy crystals are definitely more liquid than cards, monsters, summoners, and lands and totems. That we'll hopefully get in January, and So, Dark Energy Crystal has liquidity, but it's going to be more range bound. So, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. And we'll see if Gerbot's actually working right now. So let's do deck USD both. Are we going to get anything? Maybe not. But I did figure out, this is pretty fun, I did figure out how to bring up Dark Energy Crystals on TradingView. So I made a custom formula to get into the USD pricing. So let's take this off log scale. Let's keep it on log scale. So there's some kind of issue with the price feed in that the sometimes it gets multiplied by like 1,000. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's do like that. Okay, so if you're not watching the screen, this is streaming on mswaves.com. It's streaming on Vim. It's streaming on Theta. So that's all things to keep in mind. So now that we have a Uniswap pool, we can look at the Dark Energy Crystal price. So this is, if you've seen the top left there, DECWETH times ETH/USD. What that means is, so the Uniswap pool is DEC over wrapped Ethereum, and the times Ethereum over USD. The Ethereums cancel out, and you're left with DEC over USD. So this is how you look at the US dollar value of the DEC price in TradingView, which is handy. I do the same thing for Wrapped Leo, actually, but it doesn't have the artifact errors that we see here from like November 8th to the 23rd. So I don't know what's going on with that, but for the most part, it's okay. So the point of all this is that when you are looking at trading Dark Energy Crystals, you got to think, what is my upside, what is my downside? So given what we've talked about in past weeks about how the Dark Energy Crystals, because they're redeemed at par value of 1,000 Splintoshis, for packs and for lands and for any kind of official purchases through the Splitterland site, then that kind of gives us a support level, because if you can buy Dark Energy Crystals, buy 2,000 of them, and then convert that into a pack of cards, we know the expected value of a pack of cards because, well, we have a pretty rich market history, and then once the price of those 2,000 Dark Energy Crystals drops below the expected value of those cards, then it's worthwhile to just do that trade and just sell the cards. You come out with a net profit, and that bottom is depending on a couple factors with potions and things like that. That is around 65 or 650 Splintoshis, which is pretty close to this bottom right here that we saw at the December 9th, December 11th. So in that range, there's really 3 wicks going downwards. That is basically the floor. On the flip side, the the burn value of the cards is going to set the upper limit, and that's around 4,000 Splintoshis. So and that will change as the if the burn rates of the cards change. But Yaba has mentioned that he's pretty happy with the burn rates as they are now. So there's nothing in the near future that will do that. So that's kind of your absolute range is 650 on the bottom, 4,000 on the top, and in recent history we've seen once it gets to 1,000, once it gets to par value, people start burning cards quite a bit. So if you're looking to trade, just keep those ranges in mind. So 70 is buy, 1,000 or 700 is a buy, 1,000 is a sell, and that's kind of exactly what we saw on this most recent leg of the market. Now, also working into that, we had the run up to lands presale number 3, which started on Saturday and is ongoing. So let's check out the status there. Splitterlands, come on. Splitterlands.com. Go to the shop. Go to the shop. Land. and 18,823 remaining. So let's see. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, so 18,823 out of 30,000. That's kind of on pace. Yaba says, I think people might be getting a little burned out. That's a pun. The card burning rates in deck are way lower than in the past. That is true. The alphas, I still have some gold promos, from the Kickstarter, original Kickstarter. Those have double the alpha burn rates. Those are pretty sweet. But yeah, it's definitely lower than it was, because what an alpha common is 60 and untamed common is 10, so it's a 6x change. Might not be 10, it might be 20, but it's a lot, a lot different. So it takes a lot more cards, which is good. But with the lands, as far as we know, currently they're going to require a lot of cards, and I think we will see a lot of buying of those cheap cards in order to maximize the monetary efficiency of those increases in whatever kind of yield. But 18,000 remaining out of 30,000. That means a little over 11,000 have sold, and it's been open for 4 days, 3 days. What day is today? So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, let's call it 3 full days, and we're into the 4th day now. That's actually not bad, considering that we've already sold 60,000 plots in pre-sales 1 and 2, and that's you got to figure that each time you sell more, people's demand for any kind of resource is satisfied. So I was actually thinking, maybe I'll throw another tract worth of Dark Edge crystals into the final day pool, run by Dave McCoy. But I decided not to. I have my region from pre-sale 2. I'm getting my legendary totem, and I got a whole bunch of raffle tickets, so I'm good. Part of the difficulty with whales and Splinterlands is that Splinterlands is still a very small ecosystem. It's the biggest blockchain game, right? It's one of the biggest blockchain apps, depending on how you measure things, just in general. But in dollar terms, it's still pretty small. So we saw the market distortions that happened when a guy like J69 came in, and he bought, I don't know, $250,000 worth of stuff. But that was too big a purchase or too big a position for this given market. And it's growing. That's good. And if we bring on 10,000 new players, then totally different story. But until then, it's the whale's gotta be a little bit careful. So when beta prices were at all-time lows because of dumping of other whales, I consciously made that decision to not buy more, and because it serves the ecosystem better in order to spread out the asset base. So that's what I did, even though I could have snapped up some bargains. And I was telling people on the show, it's this is the time to buy. But what are you gonna do? For myself, for myself, the spreading out is more beneficial over the long term than just the direct benefit that I would get from just buying and trading and or staking cards into deck 404 and making yield that way. So yeah, I was dropping the link for the official pre-sale announcement. Is there anything particular you were thinking of there, Yaba, for bringing in here? Land pre-sales 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. Post pre-sale 60,000. Post pre-sales also known as full retail. But yeah, so the I believe the plan is that for anything unsold for pre-sale number 3 by December 31st is just going into the retail pot. Oh, I see. You're responding to Lady Medusa. Gotcha. So yeah, read the chat now. It's hard to talk and chat and browse stuff on the interwebs at the same time. Swoop is here. Swoop is server muted. That's fun. Okay, I didn't even do it. That must have been Ron. Uh, so that's all great. So you know, Dark Energy Crystal, just keep those levels in mind. If you're trading, the nice thing about Dark Energy Crystal being where it is now is that basically pre-sale number 3 is kind of the same price as the previous ones, because even though it's more in Dark Energy Crystals are cheaper, so the total, when you multiply those out, it comes out to be pretty close to the same. With that, let's get into totems. Let's see. So, one of the things they talked about was that totems and lands and all those kind of resources will be rentable. And it's looking like legendary totems will be a double of production or utility for a given plot. And so that's going to be pretty useful. We're looking at, but you got more raffle tickets. No, I got less raffle tickets. Buyers now get more raffle tickets. Yes, that is true. So I was actually thinking about buying a new region and selling the old one just to get more raffle tickets, but too much work. Some things that you haven't mentioned there on the pre-sale. So legendary totems will double the production or utility of a plot, and obviously if you put it on a high level plot, then it's going to double a high level function. And we're looking at one summoner and some number of monsters for a given plot. So I'm still sticking with my envelope math, saying okay, 150,000 plots. We're going to say 60% of them require monsters of some kind. It could be 100%. I don't know, but I'm saying 60%. I think is conservative, and then each of them will require an average of 2. So it could be more, for higher levels, but average, across the board. And that comes out to 180,000 cards. And that's a lot of cards. I mean, and that, who knows what kind of BCX that represents. Because, I'm confident in assuming that a higher level monster or higher level summoner will do more in a given plot than a lower level one. So the same number of cards, but different numbers of BCX. So that is going to be a huge market demand for those cards. And if we look, we always have to go back to the market. If we go to the market, do I need to do anything to activate my plots in game, or does it automatically happen in game once the pre-sales are all sold out? Ooh, Gabriel leveled up. I'll drink my water right here. So the Gabriel's drinking. The Fox Coit has to go to sleep. Bye, Fox. Thanks for dropping in. So yeah, I mean that's a lot of cards that are going to be bought. So let's take a look at the market here. Let's look at commons. Common. Let's look across the board. So right now, the cheapest common you can buy is the Nectar Queen, and it's 1.1 cent. And you can get a bunch. So let's see. If we look at the bulk here, average price stays okay. Up through a max level. But then if we go into multiple maxes, let's say we need 800. Now we're starting to creep up, and you can see that in the, it's a 40% increase of the price. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of liquidity for cards in the market, even though, some of them are still pretty low price. So if we look at the Undead Rex, so even here, you can see just on the chart here provided by Peak Monsters that if you look at a level 10 400 BCX Undead Rex, that the average price goes up to 4.2 cents, which is basically quadruple from where it is now, 3.5 times. So once these cards start getting bought up, then they're going to go fast. And so I think your low priced beta commons, alpha commons are. Some alpha commons are still pretty approachable. So if we look at those, I guess a Minotaur Warrior, you can get some for. Look at that. You can get a max level Minotaur Warrior for 6.6 cents per BCX. Gabriel's doing that with Nectar Queen already. There are cards available, but once people start buying them up to put them into work on the lands, then the liquidity there is just going to disappear. So your beta commons, your some of the alpha commons that are still approachable, the out of print rewards cards. When it's all gone, people wake up, yeah, and then it'll be too late. But part of the thing I like to do here with Monster Maverick is to let people know things that are coming. And you can make your purchases and sales accordingly. So if deck goes above 1,000 Flintoshis, that's a sell. I'm telling you right now. If it goes below 700, that's a buy. I'm telling you right now. That's not financial advice, but it's certainly kind of stuff I'm doing. So take that for what it is. We don't play any music on the show, Swoops. So no Wiki Game, no whatever that other 80s song that you love is, not happening. So I'm as part of Deck 101, I actually check the markets every day as far as the current price feed, and I have a spreadsheet, and I manage our balances and everything. So financial advice, he told us. So I used to be an actual financial advisor. I used to be Series 65 investment advisor, but I am not any longer, and you're certainly not paying me, so I'm not your advisor. So that's always something to keep in mind. Anywho, totally forgot. Oh, Kyokiz's rewards list, rewards cards list. So let's check that out. I haven't actually looked at this in a while. So the things that are in print. Oh, Etten Spearman is coming up on its print limit. How rude. You can always hire me. I do take on clients. Not for financial advice, but for tax planning and CFO kind of stuff. Etten Spearman, Baby Unicorn are coming up on the print rate. So these are cards I see a lot in Deck 101 because the prices are just so low that they're like right above burning, but they're not high enough to sell, so they just build up in our account. Gelatinous Cube, so that's coming up. So the Jelly is a very well-loved card, and Screeching Vulture, also a very well-loved card. That has the it's an opportunity card. It's flying. It has Scavenger, and the Cube is a great tank in a lot of cases. So for $100 an hour, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually raising my hourly rate, so it's going to go well above that. But yeah, so the Jelly and the Vulture, those are things to keep an eye on. If you are looking to finish off like a max level card, you might want to do it before it runs out, because as we typically see, the print run hits. If it's a popular card, the price spikes, and then it retreats a bit, but it's still above where it was before. So how much it retreats depends on the popularity of the card, all that kind of stuff. But Jelly and Vulture are both pretty popular cards, so I would not be surprised to see those maintain a higher level than some of the others. Kyokiz also has a new toy, which you might have seen some posts on, but this is the Splinter Stats Season Report card, and it's under the Splinter Stats account, I guess. And so he's been publishing statistics on various things, but this is a new thing that's a player report card. So it's not very long. I'll go ahead and read it. Most of this is just pictures. Introducing Splinter Stats Season Report cards. For those who haven't been following along with Splinter Stats and my Kyokiz Splinter Stats statistics, welcome. Currently available is my rewards cards page, cards by league cap, and this blog, Splinter Stats, which posts daily and monthly statistics on mystery potions. Today, I would like to introduce you to the Splinter stats season report card. That is a mouthful. It definitely needs a better name. But let's go to the link there, and he hosts everything on GitHub here. So let's take a look at my report card. So this is the actual application. It's thinking about it. So it spits out all this stuff. So here's image number 1, top 10 summoner usages. I use Archmage Arius a lot, that is for sure. I've used Daria 5 times and I won every time. That's nice. I used Prince Renan 10 times, win 80% of the time. Jotun I'm 50-50 on, which is ridiculous, because everybody's saying, oh, Jotun's so overpowered. I guess I'm just not that good with him. I don't know. Selenia, I'm getting my butt kicked here. Play-Doh, I've been doing well with. Play-Doh, I've been getting a lot of fire quests lately, and, for whatever reason. So that's been working out. Maverick I do well with. Mimosa I do well with. Top 10 monster usage, obviously. Furious Chicken, number 1. That's why, when Furious Chicken came out, I was so excited to see that, because as a 0 mana monster, it's just a gimme. The only time you don't want to use it is in the no neutrals quests, and I think it was this morning, I was playing no neutrals quest, and then I was like, use the chicken when I didn't need to, but I bought a bunch of gold foil Furious Chickens right from the beginning, because I knew, that 10% bonus in Dark Energy Crystal, that adds up over time for a single fixed time cost. Come on, sign me up. So I got 50 or 60 of them. Arianthus I use a lot. Number 1 tank in the game there. Kobold Miner, I like to sneak. Flame Monkey. Flame Monkey is such a great card. 1 mana, repair, swiftness, love it. Flame Monkey with Serpentine Spy or Serpentine Soldier. Those are always good. Goblin Shaman I use a lot. Let's see, what else do I got? Serpentine Mystic. People are sleeping on this card. This one right here. Serpentine Mystic is a great card. It's Dragon Summoner, so, you have whatever usage rate you have dragons with, but it has slow and it has affliction, and it's magic. So, and it's 3 mana. Great card. I think people really underutilize Serpentine Mystic. I don't think I've ever seen anybody else use it. Anyway, and then on down from there. So it has all your monsters. So this is kind of similar to the report that Jacek puts together, but it's like individual instead of league wide. And reports. So this is somewhat similar to Monster Market, but a little bit more in detail, which I like. Loot chests here. And I'm earning, about, 900 something, or 90 something, I guess, deck per win. Actually, what is that? 70-41 divided by 74 is 95. Okay. Make sure I'm not doing my mental math wrong. Gabriel says, just like in Magic the Gathering investing, I heavily leaned all my card stocks into colorless cards, artifacts and lands. Artifacts and lands can be used in any colored deck, so they'll always be the most played. Yeah. Yeah, the neutrals perform that function really well. So when beta was closing up, I bought a whole bunch of neutrals, across the board, just to have them, because they have that high utility factor. So let's see, what did I get last season? I got 112 cards, no legendaries. Jesus, I should have got at least one. Okay, gold foils. I got 2 common. My cards rewards have just been crap lately, and this is proving it. Loot chests. Got some potions. Got some deck. Nothing great. I got packs though. I did do well in packs, so that's solid. In fact, you can clearly see that that's the majority of my winnings. Just is the Untamed packs. I got 9 there, and yeah, then 95 deck per win, which is good. Mine is fairly high because I use a lot of alpha gold foils, so that effectively doubles my my rewards, because average of call it 5 cards, so 5 times 20 is 100%. because you get the 10% bonus from alpha and the 10% bonus from gold foil. So yeah, maybe not 100%, maybe 80%, whatever. I get a big bonus from that. So that's and they're hard to sell, so might as well use them that way anyway. Let's see. The so we got this is Kyokiz's new tool. I think it's pretty cool, and give Splitter stats a vote. If you think it's useful. In fact, I will do that right now. Boom. I very rarely use SplinterTalk.io, but I'm such a Splitter whale. I'm just an early adopter. That's really all it was. I bought and I held. I was hodl gang. There's my hodl song right there. Can't remember the last time I played against someone with an alpha legendary gold foil. Yeah, I got a few. I don't know if I have them maxed. I'd have to check on Peak Monsters. Let's see now. Now you got me wondering. Because I know I have some, but I don't know if they're maxed. Let's see. Alpha, gold. And then legendary. I got a Frosty. So these are my alpha gold GFLs. But yeah, so Frost Giant. The Water Splinter loves me, and I don't know why, but I do pretty well with Water Splinter when I play it. I'll play it with a quest. But I got so many Frost Giants back in the early days, and I wasn't seeking them out. They were all from packs, and it's just is what it is. The problem is Frost Giants, one of the least valuable legendaries. So it's yeah. So look at this guy out from flexing. No, this is I'll show you my flex. Ooh, that's loud. I'll show you the flex. Ba, ba, ba. So being number one outside team member whale, my flex is just the whole account. And Agrod sent me a DM a week or two ago when the value using list prices went over that 100 level. But I used the 85 number, so still below all-time highs that I had in right when Untamed came out, but not too far. So when it's high, it's like 92 or something like that, and then when it's low, it's like 56. So quite a swing there. But we're closing back in. Now, in total market cap terms, obviously we are at all-time highs because there's just more cards out there that are providing value amongst a larger player base than we had back in those beta deck days. So that's my flex, and I don't even count Agrod because obviously he has incentive to keep everything moving. Yeah, J69 did exceed me. Then he blew himself up and whatever. That guy's a nut. But yeah, Gerbot's not working, so that command does not seem to work all the way. Yeah, so Anarchist, that is an interesting point, and let's just say I keep it on the down low. Gabriel says he says he's seeing a lot of unnoticed epic and legendary cards going up in value. I think that newbies are starting to play and just grabbing whatever cheapish epic or legendary they can afford. Others are getting quite high. Zin Voda is like $30 now. Yeah. Let's go to the market. I know that I opened all my dice and I had my gold foils that were excess, so I just I sold a bunch of those, and those summoners were doing well. Let's see, Zin. I'm not sure what card you're talking about there with Zinvoda. Zintar? Zintar is not a legendary. It's a good thing having a wife that is not tech savvy. That is true. Unit QM says my core card is stuck on generating card usage statistics. That's interesting. Mine worked fine. Make sure you broadcasted the Hive keychain transaction so that it actually spits out the stuff. But worked fine for me. So I don't know if you want to do tech support, you got to talk to Kyokiz, and he's in Australia, so he's usually asleep at this time, but he'll be up in a few hours, I guess. Pretty busy guy though. He's finishing off his university stuff. Anywho, what else did I want to hit today? Totems we talked about. We only got a few minutes left. They will be rentable, which will be great. You know. Oh, one thing that I don't even have on my list that I wanted to talk about was, we were talking in the Discord. I think it was in the Monster Mavericks or in the Mavericks House channel, and I realized that it's quite likely that as the lands produce resources, that people are going to target specific resource types. So they're going to try to corner the market, or at least be a large, a whale in the market of like Sparkstone and Virtulium and whatever the other resources are. The essences of the various splinters. I think we're getting some kind of wood, and whatever else it is, rather than geographically. So I think we're going to see a lot of that happen, and they will exercise outsized influence on the production of those resources. And assuming that they do good balance of of resources and their use in the game, which I think is a reasonable assumption. They've done a good job of balance so far. That you'll need a bit of everything. So if you have a complete deck with all the splinters, then you need something, some kind of the resources and the items and spells created from those resources of everything. So if somebody corners the market on Sparkstone, then they're going to be able to do what they want with that. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. A lot of it's going to depend on the initial distribution of the lands. So I have a region. 30 other people have regions. Some guilds have regions, and if there's enough, internal to those regions that are held by strong hands in single basically players, then that will foil the market cornering strategy. But if not, if the luck just so happens that there's a lot of Sparkstone that's in independent hands, then somebody could go in and buy those up and kind of do a corner, do a Matt Clark where flesh golems are still way more expensive than everything else. And Paco saying, anyone has experienced the craft in Star Wars Galaxies? Nope, haven't played it. But some other things I just did want to hit on before we run out of time is guild brawls. Guild brawls are apparently working on the back end, so it needs a UI. The gladiator cards need to be designed and all that kind of stuff, but that is working and coming. That'll be fun. So the gladiator cards are going to be super interesting. They're only going to be useful in guild on guild violence, but obviously every guild is going to want their own, and the mechanics are unclear. Will they be guild assets, and then each individual player can use them, or does each individual player in the guild need to have their own? Don't know. We'll see. Let's see what else we got here. New rule sets are in the works and are coming at some point. Ag still wants his infinite trample. Infinite trample was great. Every time I get like a match, I forget the name of the unprotected. That's the name where there's no shields or no armor. I know Biz likes to get on me for that. I always put in trample. Whether it's Magnol or Giant Rock or somebody else. I like to have that. That trample, especially if you have Jotun and one of those, then you get a kill, a blast, which kills the next guy, and then a trample onto the third guy, which then blasts the fourth guy. Love it. Oh, Yabba says guild assets. All right, very cool. So let me update my notes there. Yabba says guild assets. Okay. Let's see. Rentals. What do we got in rentals? Oh, right. So the new rental system being integrated that Jarvie came up with, and apparently they've been working on. We're looking at early 2021 for that going live, which is exciting. From what Jarvie has told me in the past, it's going to be basically a very seamless system where player wants player wants a Magnor, and they just goes and gets a Magnor, and not specifically one person's Magnor. So it's kind of a sort of a liquidity pool type approach, which I'm a big fan of, and hopefully that will come out early 2021, maybe January, maybe February, and we'll be able to use that because the rental system has kind of languished a bit, especially since the transition to Hive. But hopefully this will re-energize it quite a bit. Last note about user growth. User growth is everything, as I've said again and again and again. The free-to-play users are converting at 12%, and they're converting better on desktop than on mobile. 12% is great. Brave apparently has had 1,000 signups, 10% conversion there, and obviously the mobile app is suffering from the fact that there is no tutorial on that as of yet, so that needs to be done. But overall, I'm very encouraged by those kinds of numbers because, I don't know if you noticed, but, Bitcoin's back at, right now it's at 23,430. So, it popped over 24,000 for just a minute there and hit 24.3. Now we're at 23.4. But, the normies are coming because they're going to see all that stuff about on the news about Bitcoin's new all-time highs. And once that news cycle gets into the mainstream mind, then all those people come in and they say, well, I don't want to spend $24,000 on a Bitcoin. I'll look at these other things. And then they funnel into all the different alt projects. So that is a source of new players, and it's a big one. So I am, for one, am looking forward to the bull run, and I think we're going to see a lot of things just go crazy here in just a short while. So that's it for me this week, and we will see you next time.